and welcome to another episode of Tennis Chatter. I am Rel Klein.
And I am Debbie Pachel, her mom, and we are having a glass of rosé as we discuss Wimbledon, day 6, middle Saturday.
So, yeah, we're not going to just discuss today, now I think we're done with round 3. So, we're going to discuss round 1 to round 3, and tomorrow starts round of 16. The fourth round, but a lot has happened in this round. There's been upsets, there's been injuries, and just today alone, there was Iga was lost. Huge match between Nick Kyrgios and Stefanos Tsitsipas, and even during Nadal's match, there was problems. So let's get into it. Starting off day 1, Grigor Dimitrov was up against Steve Johnson. Earlier in the second set, he was serving, and it seemed like he pulled a hamstring. Don't really know what happened there. He tried to have some medical help. He tried to play through it. Just could not, he was standing kind of when he was serving. He didn't jump. He just wasn't there. He, towards the end of the second set, just kind of ended it. There has not been really updates about
his condition.
Yeah, there's been no updates. No one, usually they would say, he hasn't posted anything. So there's that. We both, as we said, we thought Iga was going to win this tournament. I did, when we were in the first episode, brought up how she's young. We haven't really seen her on grass. And, she lost today. So that was at the end, we'll say again who we think is going to win Wimbledon, a weekend, because a lot of who we thought is out, I thought maybe Diego Schwartzman or Casper Ruud, both upsetted, both are out already. So there's that. Those are the upsets. What are the other upsets? Well, Serena Williams lost.
Okay, but just say she lost to Harmony Tan, and let's just say
that was a really close match.
It was a really close match, and I think everybody was like, who is Harmony Tan?
I feel like I've heard of her before.
And now, Harmony Tan, she demolished Boulay, I think her name is, the British player, in 51 minutes today in 2 sets. So Serena can at least take comfort in knowing, this is not because Serena was rusty. This player, Harmony Tan, is on fire. She is really going to be one of the next...
you think she's going to win it?
Well, I don't think she's going to win it, but she's definitely next gen to look out for. She is making a statement at this tournament. So she, I mean, you hear this expression in tennis a lot when players are hungry. She is definitely hungry now, and she is really battling all her opponents and making a lot of headway, and she's into, the round of 16. So again, we love Serena. We want to see Serena come back, and I think Serena can take some comfort in that. It wasn't she beat Serena and then she lost the next round. This Harmony Tan is very, very, very talented tennis player.
That match was also very close. So
yes, much closer than today in the third round.
Well, those matches, literally, especially when it's final set tiebreaker, it can go either way. It really can.
Completely.
So it just sucks that Serena, we're huge fans of Serena, and we hope all the best for her. But, okay, what other upsets?
So, so let's just talk about Swiatek for a second, because that is, I know, I'll have to look up what the other upsets were, but I had predicted her to go all the way. She's somebody that I can see can win a Golden Slam, and if it's not this year, it'll be next year, where she can win all the majors. She's just that good an all-around player. But like you said, I mean, maybe she doesn't have as much experience on grass, and today wasn't her day, and hats off to Eliza, is that how you say it, Cornet, because she played brilliantly and beat her.
I do believe she'll win at least one Wimbledon in her time. She'll be fine. But it was just still a surprise, I guess, but nothing against her.
Right. So I think there was probably more upsets in... I mean, yesterday was very hard for me because I'm a huge John Isner fan, and he is, I think, if not the best, one of the best servers on the men's circuit. And so you know, look, Yannick Sinner is brilliant too, and so that was a very tough match for me to see him lose. And then the other guy who's really kind of upsetting everybody, like Harmony Tan for the females, is this guy Tim van Rijthoven. I'm probably not saying his name
Maybe
right.
he can be
the Dutch player.
Djokovic.
I don't know about that, but that'll be interesting tomorrow for sure. So he's taking everybody by storm. On the men's side, I mean, I think some of the upsets came a little early on, but you know, Nakashima beating Shapovalov, that was to me a pretty big one. Brody beating Schwartzman.
Did Murray beat FAA or did FAA beat, like, what?
Oh wait, I think it's this guy. Actually, Tim beat FAA.
Oh right, he beat. Wait, Murray's out. Who did Murray lose to?
Isner.
And now Isner's out?
And now Isner's out because Sinner beat him. So Tim van Rijthoven beat Opelka. I'm so sorry, Tim, because I am not saying your name right. And he beat, let me see who he beat.
I mean, we don't have to give that updates on every single match, but...
Yeah, but now that you said that, I just want to
Okay, and then we'll get into the matches today that...
Yeah.
We're
so
very
today I do.
Let's talk about Rafa first, but okay.
Can I just say something? Because today is what's called the Middle Saturday, and it's a big day in Britain because they invite a lot of athletes from the Olympics and different sports, including the Paralympics. And so, of course, I didn't recognize anybody, but everybody dresses up today, like where you actually see people in suits and ties and dressed, and that's kind of cool.
I wasn't looking at that.
And then also for the first time ever, it used to be that on the middle Sunday, which will be tomorrow, they always took a break. And this is the first time, which is interesting because we know about Wimbledon and its traditions, that they are actually playing on the middle Sunday tomorrow.
Why did they do that? Why did they get rid of it?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I was not
Well, I know
prepared for
they were
that.
actually having a lot of rain delays. We know Wimbledon they don't have like I don't know if it's like outdoor lights or whatever, but at a certain time, if a lot of courts, if the play is still going on, they suspend it and they will continue it the next day. I think only like 2 courts they have roofs, and they like literally will stop a match and like be like, okay, we need 10 minutes to put up a roof, like such as example for Nick Kyrgios and Stefanos. Am I saying things right? I don't even know. Match today, which we will discuss later on. And so it is like a little disruptive. It kind of like, it's so weird because for the US Open, they like night matches is such a big thing, but it's not a thing in Wimbledon. And so because they were having rain delays and because they have this rule of like ending it around like 9 o'clock every day, like it seems like they would need this extra day. You don't need to say it if you don't know why.
It's not telling me why. I'm like Googling it. I'm sure if I went deeper.
Well,
but I think
anyway.
it's what you said. I actually think it's because of the rain delays and everything that losing that day can affect.
Well, they never like... Yeah, I mean, they never like lost the full day because of rain delays, but like things were pushed back and like... Anyway, so let's first talk about Rafa's match, which we both did not watch because we were watching the Kyrgios match. But do you want to go into detail about what happened during his match? Which
Well,
he
you
did
did more
win.
than me, but I was kind of saying...
I didn't know more than you.
Well, I was
reading
kind of saying
articles.
Ariel because the Kyrgios...
You said Ariel, they don't know who that is.
Oh, sorry,
Oh, by the way, my full name is Ariel, but I go by Rel.
So the Kyrgios and Tsitsipas was so full of drama and so captivating that I was like, Nadal, Sonego, no offense, obviously, but it seemed, and like when I was checking the score, Nadal was just so easily winning. So I was like, okay, they're on center court, right, which is like the predominant court. But like their match was like so boring compared to the drama that was happening with
But there was drama during the Rafa
Okay,
match.
so I missed that there was drama in the third set, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so explain what happened.
Well, I don't really know what happened because all I saw was the articles. But supposedly, like, I guess Sonego was grunting late to Nadal or something.
Which we could do a whole episode on grunting, right?
Yeah. I don't really know. I think we have to read more. So I guess we're not experts when we say this. And in case we say something that's inaccurate, just know that we weren't watching the match. We don't know.
Yeah.
We weren't there on the court. We can't, everything. But supposedly Rafa kind of called him, like had him come, like they were at the net and he like said something to him like about his grunting late. And so then afterwards, Sonego was like, that was like rude. Like, why do you not take it up with the Or maybe that was like Rafa was like apologizing.
Well, later he apologized after the match, but it is kind of weird that he. And again, I haven't seen it. I've been trying to Google it and find it, but like everybody grunts. Like it's crazy sometimes how much grunting happens in tennis. But I guess Rafa was.
Those are fireworks.
What Rafa was objecting to was that Sonego's grunts were coming late, so it was coming at the point where it was like afterwards and maybe being disruptive to him. So the image that I saw on Twitter and everybody where was like Rafa discussing it with him at the net, and like this is funny because it's in sharp contrast to what Kyrgios does, which Kyrgios wouldn't like fight with Tsitsipas, he'd have his fight with the umpire. So it's weird that like Rafa actually called him to the net.
From the perspective of Sonego, am I saying that right?
I think so, but
Okay. Well, if I had another player who I was playing in the middle of the match who was also beating me, telling me like something about like my grunting,
Negative,
I would like, I would feel like I would be like, he's treating me like a child, he's treating me like a baby.
Exactly.
Like I would be like, it's not like hurt, it's like something different. And I do think, I think it is disrespected. And like, I mean, I don't know, sometimes, grunting's a whole other thing, comment below if you want us to do an episode about grunting. Because I mean, like, I personally don't grunt. I think it's weird. Well, at a collegiate level for people to grunt. Like, once in a while, if I'm like really like so much with the serve, like you'll hear or something for me. But like, I grunt, I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, some people grunt at every shot, but... And again, we didn't hear it, but I guess it was like a delayed grunt or something. It's just weird because Nadal was winning so handily. And I agree with you. It's almost like a parent calling the kid to the net and
like
scolding
slap.
him.
It's like a slap in the face.
It's like scolding him. And here he is winning. And like, again, if it really was disruptive, like he should have said something in a changeover or something to the to actually call him to the net to discuss it. It's kind of weird. And I think Rafa realized afterwards that it was not...
Yeah, but did Sonego ever said anything to the press that he didn't like it? Or did Rafa just realize that it was not right?
I don't know. Knowing Rafa, I mean, Rafa's one of the more even-keeled players. And I would say Rafa's one of the most mature players. Like, not that you don't ever see emotion, because you do see him emote, but he's not like... He's not one that like gets into it with the umpires or gets into it with the players. So I think it was kind of surprising.
Tennis is such a mental sport. We'll do a whole episode.
So maybe somebody said something to him afterwards, like, you beat him in 3 sets very easily. Like, why were you calling him out? And I guess then he felt guilty about doing it. But and then again, it was funny in comparison to the high level of drama in the Tsitsipas Kyrgios match, which I also, and I know we're going to do a separate episode on coaching, but it's just like, I can't imagine now if this match, if they were allowed coaches and Tsitsipas's dad was allowed to coach him through this, like that just would have been a whole nother level.
Well, the coaching, we have to do an episode about that soon because the coaching will start right after Wimbledon, but the coaching is going to be like a little bit straight, like it's really only symbols, but we'll like get into that when we do that episode. So I didn't start watching this match till the 3rd set. When did you start watching?
Oh, I was watching it from the 1st set. That's why
I didn't know. I didn't know
you were watching it. Yeah,
I didn't know you were here. Okay, so supposedly it was really close in the 1st set, and everything was fine in the 1st set.
Yeah, I mean Nick lost in a tiebreaker. It was very close.
And then in the 2nd set, I guess Tsitsipas was mad that he was down, so he like hit it into the crowd.
Well, it was right when he lost the 2nd set.
He hit it into the crowd.
He hit it, and it kind of harks back to when Novak Djokovic hit the lines person, and then he was
so like I feel like it is very common. I've seen it multiple times where players are down and they'll hit a ball into the crowd. I've seen it. What Novak did is different because, like, that's, like...
Right.
Well, but, like, I have seen people... I've seen it a lot and usually when players hit into the crowd, they get warnings. But the thing is did CC Pass hit someone when he hit it into the crowd?
Yeah. See, I missed it. Like, at first I actually thought that maybe Kyrgios had hit somebody and had been called out on it, and that's why he was making a fuss, because he didn't think it was so bad. And then I realized, like, oh, he was actually, his point was more like CC Pass does it if it was and gets away with it, whereas if it had been Kyrgios who'd done it, he would not have gotten away with it. So
yeah.
I think the difference is in terms of if you hit something against a wall, or even on the court out of frustration, it's one thing, but it's sort of when you endanger somebody that you could possibly injure them.
In general, as I said, I've seen so many times when players have hit it into the crowd in frustration. Always it is a warning, and I think if he just hit it into the crowd, he has every right. The umpire has every right to just give him a warning. If he did hit someone, then I understand why Nick Kyrgios was upset he didn't get more than a warning, because it is like you hit someone, so it should be more. So I understand, but I think I was reading articles and I don't know if it's clear if he hit someone or not. But I guess if he just hit into the crowd, it's yes, warning. But if he did hit someone, then I understand the frustration. But anyway, after that happened, supposedly Nick kept arguing to the umpire that he should have more. But then supposedly early on in the third set, because I started watching the third set and I didn't see this, Stefanos tried to hit Nick Kyrgios at one point, and that's when he got actually a point penalty.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to hit him. He wanted to hit him.
Yeah, he was trying to hit Kyrgios, and he admitted it.
And he admitted that, but afterwards.
And yet, he was calling Kyrgios
okay, well,
a bully,
we'll get into that. So I think it's crazy to actually aim. But then there was also, because when I was watching, there were points where he actually, when someone's up at the net and you're, hitting it right at them, he, kind of hit him, but those weren't the point penalties. I'm trying to think. And then there was this point where then Stefanos was arguing with the umpire. But I don't really know why he was arguing. Was that after the point? Maybe I did see the point penalty. I don't know.
One thing I want to just bring up is that at the point that Kyrgios started fighting with the umpire, he already won the set. So, typically I think people think that Kyrgios would be getting upset because he was losing. He wasn't losing. The momentum was actually on his side. He had just won the set. First set was very, very close. Could have gone either way. It went to the tiebreaker. Yeah. And then the second set, he won pretty, very, very clearly. So he started getting upset, but it wasn't like a strategy to switch the momentum, because the momentum was already in his favor. So I think that, and again...
Well, we'll do a whole episode about Nick Kyrgios, but I don't want to get into, as much as Nick Kyrgios as a player. Let's just talk about the match. So Nick Kyrgios won the third match, and then in the fourth match...
Third set.
I mean, yes, third set.
It's and the rosé. Sorry. It's the rosé.
And the fourth set, it was really close. Almost every game where Nick was serving, he was facing break points, and there's even one where it was love 40, and he started I was getting scared because he was cheering. He was cheering with the crowd, being obnoxious at their. I don't even know, but he was able to hold. It went into a tiebreaker. He was up 5-4 in the tiebreaker serving, and you weren't watching this at this point, but I was watching it, and he served, and they called it out, and then he challenged it, and it was in. But then he was of course, mad. And then he ended up, even though he had a first serve, he ended up losing the point, and of course then he was even more mad. Because that's just, I think anyone would be mad. I feel like Nick just expresses when he's mad instead of keeping it in. But we'll do a whole episode on him.
Yeah.
Anyway, but in the end.
Wait, can I just pause you for 1 second, because what we talked about last night about technology versus the linesman. So twice during that match, because you had missed the first few sets, twice during that match, he challenged a call. And both times he was right.
Yeah.
How many times this past week have we seen players challenge calls only for the linesman to have been correct. So here's two times.
No, but I feel like, as I was saying so many times this week, people have been challenging it and been wrong.
Right.
But I guess Nick has been right.
Right. So my point.
So do you think the linesmen are out to get him? Is that what you're saying?
So I'm saying that I think, Nick does feel this whole conspiracy theory where everybody's out to get him.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, he challenges twice. Both times he was right. And so I do think that, there is this sort of conspiracy theory, or people kind of think of him as the bad boy of tennis, and so maybe they aren't so fair, and here he was.
Oh my God, I saw
something.
So supposedly Nick did an underarm serve, whatever you want to call it.
And please tell us if you know which is correct. Is underarm British and underhand American?
Because when I was reading an article and it said underarm serve, and I was reading it out to my mom and my dad, and they're like, underhand. I was like, the article literally says underarm. Like, I don't know. Supposedly Sports Center posted that. I was like, ooh. And then supposedly, I'm forgetting if it was basketball or football, but some professional player was making fun of Tennyson's not a real sport, or something. And then another tennis account was getting mad at, I don't know. I saw it quickly.
There's a little feud going on?
I saw it quickly a meme of it. Anyway, what were we talking about? We'll do a whole episode on Nick Kyrgios. But I think, in our topic of linesman versus technology, I think Nick Kyrgios would agree with us, which is get rid of the linesman and just use technology.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and I think he's great for the sport. That's all I want to say is I think Nick is great.
We are fans of Nick. We were rooting for him this entire match. That's what we were doing. But we try not to be biased
too. I do like CC Pass too. I don't want it to be
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But anyway, Nick Kyrgios won the tiebreaker, which means he won the set. And then I didn't watch it, but because I turned off the TV. But I heard that because right after you win a match, usually you do an encore interview. And in his encore interview, he was saying how him and Stefanos are good friends. Whatever happens on the court stays on the court, everything. But then Stefanos Tsitsipas had his press conference, and in his press conference, he was saying how it was all circus. Nick Kyrgios is a bully. He probably bullied people when he was at school, all this stuff. And then supposedly, we should look up the press conference because there's probably a video supposedly in Nick Kyrgios's, you can search it on YouTube, Mom, not on Instagram. But supposedly in Nick Kyrgios's press conference, someone read him aloud and when we're saying this, we're not doing exact quotes, but I read the quotes multiple times. Someone read to him Stefanos' quotes about him. And so then Nick was like, he's the one who's a circus. He was the one who, hit into the crowd. He's the one that no one likes in the locker room, saying stuff like that, which, Nick has every right. He was saying good things about Stefanos on the court. And then if you hear someone say bad stuff to you, of course, you would say them bad stuff to him. So, I understand why Nick said that, what he said. It is true that when Nick, had all those problems, he brought it up to the umpire. He didn't say anything necessarily to Stefanos. It was all to the umpire,
Right. No,
I think the people just think tennis has to be such a quiet and calm sport. They're not.
Sport.
Yeah, it makes it fun, and just because it's not so gentlemanly doesn't mean it's necessarily a circus. Doesn't mean it's bad. And Nick is every right. He has beaten you the last 2 times. So maybe Nick Kyrgios wins Wimbledon. I don't know.
I also think it's
he does have a Grand Slam, but it
kind of reminds me. I mean, I wasn't really paying that close attention to tennis when John McEnroe was around, but I just feel Nick Kyrgios is sort of the John McEnroe of the current era, right? So John McEnroe was famous with arguing calls with the linesman and the umpire that he felt were not right, and really getting into it, and that's sort of what Kyrgios is doing, and those characters are kind of what brings some life back to tennis, because tennis can be very genteel and gentlemanly and all that, and you want some colorful characters. And I do agree with what you said before, and we won't dive into it too deep here, but a lot of tennis players do have so much pressure on them, and they internalize it. And, that's really a tough mental struggle, where I think Kyrgios, in some ways, maybe goes a little too far sometimes, but he just gets it off his chest. You know what I mean? Like he just verbalizes
Yeah.
it.
And it's so weird sometimes because he was facing so many break points in the fourth set. Sometimes that like pushes him. Like it's so weird. Like then he'll just like start serving aces.
Totally.
But I don't. When I
agree.
say that, like that doesn't mean that he brings it in because he wants to then do good. I don't think he wants this. Like he doesn't want it, but he doesn't let. Even though he might you might see it get to him. Like he might be verbal. He might act like it gets to him. He'll still pull through and he'll still win the match.
Right. Like players, you've seen players who just smash their rackets to smithereens. There was one player, was it Rublev, who literally was like, I don't know, he was like
Wimbledon?
hitting his knuckles. No, not Wimbledon. He was like hitting his knuckles. His knuckles.
Every
were
single
bleeding.
tennis player has smashed a racket once, even Roger Federer.
So you know, I think this
but
is just.
We'll do a whole episode on Nick Kyrgios.
So anyway, I just we want to say day 6, lots of drama, lots of surprises.
Yeah, so
I'm kind of now not quite sure who to say my picks for winning.
Nick Kyrgios. What if Nick Kyrgios? I mean, he already has a Grand Slam.
Yeah, but Rafa
and
Djokovic are still in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Who do you think for the women now?
Oh my God, who do I think for the women now? I mean, there's so many. Like Garcia's been playing really well. Jabeur has been playing really well. I mean, Cornet, who beat Swiatek today. I don't know. You know, I love Anisimova. I love Goff too. So that was like so hard watching like after Serena, my 2 favorite players are Goff and Anisimova, so that was a really, really tough match to watch because I was rooting for both of them. You know, Anisimova is somebody who was so, you know, her star was shining bright, and then her dad died in 2019, and then the pandemic happened, so she had a rough time. She's really coming back. She's unbelievable ground strokes. You know, I just think sometimes her confidence gets shaky, but she's brilliant. I would love to see her. I'm actually very, although I'm upset that Isner lost, there's 4 American men, let's mention that, going into the Sweet 16. We've got Taylor Fritz, we've got Nakashima, we've got Tommy Paul. Wait, it's Brandon, right? What's his first name? Nakashima?
Maybe.
And
but he's playing Nick Kyrgios, so
I'm missing. Who's the 4th American who's going in? Why am I forgetting that? Taylor Fritz, Brandon Nakashima. Holy crap! Excuse me, everybody. Tommy Paul. Oh my God, Francis. One of my favorite players. Francis Tiafoe. I love him. He's also.
It's Tiafoe, not Tiafoe.
You're right. And they call him Foe. And he's one of my, he's another player I think that has a huge personality who I love.
Okay.
Okay, and then 1 American woman going into the Sweet 16. And
okay.
Let's see.
Well, any closing remarks, because this is getting long.
Yeah. And we didn't even talk about the doubles, so we'll have to save that.
Well, yeah, very like Jamie Murphy and Venus Williams together. Did not realize Coco Gauff and Jack Sock were playing together. Missed that today, but we'll have to watch it the next time they play.
By the way, Paula Badosa also is still in it, who's a Spaniard, who's one of my favorite players. So,
okay,
let's see if she can go the distance.
Well,
all right.
Thank you for we were originally gonna do an update, but there was just so much that happened today that we felt like we did. So I guess we'll do an update once Wimbledon is over. But thank you guys.
Yeah, I mean, if there's some more surprises, we may.
Yeah, but thank you guys for listening. You know, comment things you want to hear, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys. I'm Rel Klein.
I'm Debbie HL.
And thank you for listening to Tennis Chatter. Bye.